Hey guys, so we do have the Galaxy J3 and the J5, and I just wanted to do a quick little performance test, checking out the performance of the phones and the camera here, to see, is it worthwhile to get the latest J3 or is the J5 still a good buy? We can certainly check it out here. So we're getting the same kind of software here, both on Lollipop. Not sure when they're going to update these lower end phones to Marshmallow, but hopefully it won't be too long. And you can see the J5 does just pip the J3 here when it comes to the boot up, which is nice. So we're getting the Spreadtrum processor in the J3 on the left, and we can have a look at how it compares against a tried and tested Qualcomm Snapdragon 410, which I think is one of my favourite low-end processors out of a lot of them, because to me it seems to be a very responsive processor, but at the same time it gives fantastic battery. And you can see it's leaving the J3 standing here pretty much on most of the actual apps. Every single one, the J5 is dominant. About the same for the camera though. We can just check out the browsing as well. Have a look at how they handle that. I couldn't install any games actually on the J5 because obviously we do only have like 8 gigs of memory, so that is a bit of a shame. I would have to delete some apps to install some big games, but we can have a look nevertheless at how they load a web page. We do have GSM Arena, so we're just going to load this. Whoa, so that was a bit weird. Let's try that again. So about the same to load the link, and going back about the same. Let's try Tech Radar. So the J3 seemed to be a little bit faster here with this one. And again, you can see the bars loading faster on the J3. Let's try one more. Verge. So I think the J5 resolved that a little bit faster, but which loads the page. So again, the J3, but it did have a stutter there. Oh no, it's just loading the advert. So that's nice, it loaded the advert quicker than the J5. So very interesting here. We do have a little bit faster for the browsing on the new J3. Can just have a look at the multitasking. Both have 1.5 gigs of RAM. We did get a reload there. I definitely think Samsung could up the RAM for the J series. It is probably a little bit too low for Lollipop on Android TouchWiz. So you can see a lot of them have reloaded on the J5. This is faster, so maybe the multitasking is a little bit better here on the J3. Seems to not reload so many of them, which is good, and it seems to come up a little bit faster. So I'm not going to write it off here. Some nice performance there with the browsing and the multitasking performance. We did do as well a camera comparison. Now the biggest difference I saw between these two is the actual the fact you can do HDR on the J3. You can also only do 720p video recording, and we don't get a front-facing flash on the J3 like you do on the J5. So those are the main issues really. I did take advantage of the HDR capability on the J3 to some very nice effect, so you can have a look at some of these images that we did do. And generally I was quite impressed with the 8 megapixel shooter. You know, it definitely does the job. I think it gives a little bit better kind of exposure, like resolving the exposure at long distances when you're doing the HDR shots. But I think generally the colours were a bit more colourful and vibrant on the J5. It is a 13 megapixel obviously, so do bear that in mind. Also the low light is about equivalent with the J5, no real improvement there even though they're both 1.9 aperture. So you can have a look. You know, I think it'll meet your requirements as an entry-level device, but I think I prefer the J5 when it comes to the selfies because that flash, you know, in low light comes in useful, and also the full HD video recording looks a little bit more detailed than what you get on the J3. So the real question is, should you buy the J3 or the J5? You know, personally I'm thinking that you should probably you know, get the J5 if you're not much of a gamer. I have been doing some gaming sessions on the J3 and I've found a substantial improvement with the chip in the J3, but other than that, you know, I think the J5 is still the superior phone here in pretty much most aspects. You know, nevertheless, if you do need the raw performance, you can see the J3 does have some nice improvements when it comes to the browsing and multitasking. I don't think there's going to be a massive difference in the performance when they're both upgraded to Marshmallow though. You know, that is probably to do with the Lollipop, which does reload on a lot of Samsung devices. And obviously we do get a nice TouchWiz UI maybe with the circular design on the J3, but then again I think I prefer as well the old kind of style of TouchWiz here. It looks a bit more grown up to me and less like EMUI. So yeah, some interesting differences here. I didn't really bother with the battery on these two because they're both excellent at the end of the day. You know, they will definitely last you 2 days easy. So I hope you enjoyed the video, found it helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.